Good morning. My name is Walker Carson, and this is my 6th year competing in the San Antonio Commercial Steer Feeding Contest. Looking back over the past 6 years, I have met some amazing people who I consider to be great leaders in the beef industry, and have had the opportunity to learn and experience so many things that I would not have had I not been involved in this contest. One of the most important lessons that the San Antonio Commercial Steer Contest has taught me is the importance of making the difficult yet quality decisions that are essential in order for all cattlemen, including myself, to make a profit and stay in business. This year I was faced with one of those decisions, and that is what I would like to share with you today. This fall in my FFA chapter, I was able to become very involved in preparing for and competing in the Agricultural Issues Contest. My team focused on many different controversial subjects for our presentation, but the feed versus fuel ethanol debate seemed like an obvious choice. I was impacted by the debate because I had the responsibility of trying to pay for the corn to feed the 2 steers you see behind me today. We focused on the Renewable Fuels Act of 2005 and the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007, along with the Livestock Coalition Amendment that was presented to Congress in August of 2012. Did you know that 40% of all the corn grown in the United States now goes toward ethanol production? I was able to visit with Robert Lanford and learned that due to the increase in ethanol production, corn prices have nearly tripled in just the past 5 years. It has become obvious that finding alternative feed sources will become a necessity if livestock producers hope to stay in business and continue to make a profit. And most interestingly for me, I was able to become familiar with the political process that eventually led to the rejection of the Livestock Coalition Amendment in November. Now you may be wondering, what does all of that have to do with these 2 steers? Well, for the past 5 years, I've fed my steers a ration consisting of whole corn. And every year, my cattle have produced carcasses with an ideal yield and quality. But 5 years ago, I was paying less than $3 a bushel for corn. This year, I was faced with the dilemma of having to pay over $8 a bushel for corn. I was forced to consider different options that would, 1, still enable my cattle to perform in the same ways they had in previous years, and 2, still enable me to make a profit. These 2 steers were not fed a whole corn ration. Instead, they were fed a ration that was 50% corn. The other 50% of the ration included cottonseed hulls, cottonseed meal, rice bran, liquid fat, liquid molasses, and a mineral pack. The cottonseed hulls provide a great source of fiber, while the cottonseed meal provides a quality protein source that is significantly cheaper than corn. Rice bran is another ingredient that made up 12.5% of my steer's ration, and is more economically feasible than corn as well. Rice bran is often referred to as 12-12-12 because it contains 12% protein, 12% fat, and 12% fiber. Coincidentally, the corn and supplement ration that I fed my calves in previous years is 12% protein as well. In August, when I was preparing to start my commercial steer feeding project, corn had just reached an all-time high of $8.44 a bushel. The elevator where I purchased my grain in previous years quoted me at a price of $16.75 per hundredweight. He also mentioned that due to ethanol production and the drought in the Midwest, corn prices could possibly go even higher. Switching my ration from one that I knew worked to one that was more economically feasible was a difficult, yet I believe quality decision that I made this year. I can assure you that I did not make an uninformed decision. I consulted, I researched, and I prayed, and today I feel confident that I made the right decision. Allow me to conclude with this. You learn from your experiences, and you gain experience from dealing with the consequences that result from making difficult management decisions. Those are 2 lessons that the San Antonio Commercial Steer Feeding Contest has taught me extremely well. Thank you.
Good job, Walker. You're not the only one facing difficult times and difficult decisions as about whether or not to feed cattle, and there's a lot of people that are making the decision not to. As a result, I'm looking at a January 24th article that says idling of Cargill plant has cattle feeder plans in flux. Do you know about the idling of that Cargill plant? Tell me, first of all, tell the crowd what you know about the idling of that plant, and then I want you to talk to us about what you expect the implications of that. What do you expect is going to happen because of that idling of that big plant?
Well, it's a little less than an hour away from Turkey is Plainview, where the Cargill plant just recently shut down. And what Cargill's reasoning for shutting down the plant, they said that cattle was at an all-time shortage, as it has been in the U.S., as a lot of people have said in their speeches today, and they wanted to be able to run their other plants at full capacity. But and I assume they thought it through and had some other alternative reasons or something, but what they didn't seem to realize is that was over 4,000 jobs that were employed at just that Cargill plant, and I know at least 2 people just from my community that lost jobs, and not to mention a whole bunch of people in the town of Plainview that lost jobs. It's going to have a very negative impact on the economy of Plainview, and maybe even further around than that.
Walker, you're doing a great job. I have a question on the similar subject matter that what we're discussing here. I want to ask you, if you kind of compare the cow-calf segment to the feedlot segment to the packer segment, you were discussing economics. Who right now is in the best profit position? The cow-calf guy, the feed yard, the packer? Are they all the same? Do you think one's in a better position right now than another, and why?
Well, I think we're all at a dilemma. Because corn prices are higher, which are causing beef prices higher, which is good to be higher, which is good for the cattlemen and for the feed yards, but it's bad for the packers because they're having to pay more for cattle. But then again, meat prices in the grocery store are at an all-time high, so the packing plants are making back some of the money that they're spending on cattle in the grocery store, and livestock producers are making back the money that they're spending on feed because they're selling it to the feedlots or the packing plants. So I think it's kind of a negative effect on all, but it's balancing out in the end.